Making headlines this hour, National Drug Agency states that more than 1,000 individuals are currently enrolled in the National Drug Treatment System with ongoing efforts to expand opportunities for as many applicants as possible. According to the Ministry of Islamic Affairs and Endowments, the fifth round of the ongoing program designed to train young khatibs is scheduled to commence this week. Payment Maldives Private Limited announces that the Maldives instant payment system known as Favara has successfully processed $6.49 billion in transactions thus far.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to PSM News in English with me, Fatma Zaina Rifat. And now for the news in detail. President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu states that the government is pursuing modern solutions to strengthen rehabilitation and reintegration of young offenders.
The president made the remarks in the third episode of the Pulse podcast, which focused on the national response to drug abuse. He said the government's core policy is not only to protect young people from drug addiction, but also to ensure those already affected are rehabilitated and given the opportunity to return to society as productive, respected, and self-reliant citizens. President Muizzu noted that there are numerous factors driving people towards drug abuse, stressing that the problem can only be solved by identifying and addressing its underlying root causes. He explained that housing difficulties and shortcomings in development policies are among the structural issues contributing to the problem. He said the government's response therefore extends beyond law enforcement and rehabilitation programs. Measures include addressing housing needs, expanding employment opportunities, creating new income-generating prospects for young people, and supporting small businesses. The president also highlighted initiatives aimed at strengthening individual self-reliance, creating opportunities for women to earn an income while working from home, improving the country's healthcare system, and expanding access to education. He said these initiatives are all designed to tackle the root cause that lead young people into drug abuse and crime. President Muizzu revealed that the government is developing a modern rehabilitation project to enhance the reintegration of young offenders into society. Although the initiative will require significant investment, he said land has been allocated in North Tilafadu for the project as part of wider efforts to ease housing pressures in Malé. Providing an update on the project, the president said considerable time has been spent securing financing. Proposals submitted for the projects are currently under evaluation, and he expressed hope that implementation would begin without significant delay, allowing tangible progress to be seen during the current presidential term. The episode also featured President Muizzu responding to public concerns relating to the day's topic. The Pulse podcast is hosted by the government's chief spokesperson Muhammad Hussain Sharif and follows a format in which the president shares his view on key national issues and answers questions submitted by a moderator on behalf of the public.
First Lady and Chief Guide Sajida Mohammed says the Girl Guide movement is building resilient women essential for nation building.
She made the remarks while addressing a ceremony held to mark National Girl Guide Day. In her address, First Lady Sajida reflected on the history of the Girl Guide movement in the Maldives, noting that over its 75-year history, its value and contribution has become increasingly evident. She said that this year marked a significant milestone as the government officially recognized the movement by introducing a dedicated National Girl Guide Day for the first time, describing it as a major achievement for the organization. The First Lady said that the Girl Guide movement began in the Maldives in the 1950s and has since its early years played an important role in organizing and supporting official government events. She also recalled that the guides played a notable role during the visit of Queen Elizabeth II, the first foreign head of state to visit the Maldives after the country became a member of the United Nations. First Lady Sajida Mohammed said that building a nation begins with building its people, and the Girl Guide movement performs a vital service by helping to develop women. She added that the movement teaches women to be disciplined, responsible, and committed to their duties. It also encourages compassion, critical thinking, and humanitarian values while helping young women develop sound judgment and empathy. The First Lady highlighted that the Girl Guides has consistently been at the forefront of serving the nation during national events and emergencies, demonstrating that the movement is an integral part of Maldivian society. Drawing on her experience over the past 2 years as chief guide, Sajida said she had witnessed firsthand the movement's wide-ranging contributions to the country. Concluding her address, the First Lady expressed gratitude to former and current members who have served the movement over the years and extended her National Girl Guide Day greetings. She also wished the Girl Guide movement continued growth and success. The event marks the first time the Maldives has celebrated Girl Guide Day at the national level. The historic ceremony was attended by President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu along with First Lady Sajida Mohammed and Maldives Girl Guide Association Chief Commissioner Aishat Nashida and the Minister of Education, Higher Education and Skills Development, Dr. Ismail Shafiu. Senior officials of the association, as well as stars, little maids, guides, and young leaders from schools across Mali also attended. Addressing the ceremony, Nashida said the Girl Guide movement empowers young people by equipping them with essential life skills that complement classroom learning. She noted that the former Girl Guides have gone on to become cabinet ministers, university leaders, principals, doctors, business leaders, and professionals in many other fields. Members renewed the Girl Guide promise during the ceremony, while 47 leaders received guide warrants, badges, and certificates. Quartermasters and first aid badges were also presented, alongside service awards for 14 members and special recognition award for 5 individuals. The association also launched its annual news bulletin and a new community service toolkit inaugurated by First Lady and Chief Guide Sajida Mohammed. President Muizzu presented the Asia Pacific Regional Troop Leader Unit Award conferred by the World Association of Girl Guides and Girl Scouts WEGS Asia Pacific region to 14 Maldivian guides. Introduced to the Maldives in 1951, the Girl Guide movement has expanded to more than 90 islands and has over 14,000 registered members. President Muizzu officially designated Girl Guide Day to be observed annually at the national level.
The Minister for Homeland Security, Labour and Technology, Ali Ihsan, says the most important mission the police must accomplish with the greatest determination is protecting the Maldives from the drug epidemic.
Speaking at the graduation ceremony of the 42nd Basic Police Training Course, the minister highlighted the country's crime situation and the responsibilities that lie ahead for the police. He said that for many years, the greatest threat to the Maldives' internal security has been the problem of illicit drugs. He also noted that organized crime is largely financed through the drug trade. The minister stressed that tackling the drug problem is essential to safeguarding the national interest. Although it is a difficult task, he said significant progress has been made over the past 2.5 years. He also urged the police to remain fully prepared to respond to the broader range of crimes affecting the country. During his address, the minister also outlined how police officers should approach their duties. He said the police's greatest weapon is not a baton or any other piece of equipment, but the public's trust. Serving with integrity and humility without arrogance is essential to fulfilling the police's responsibility and maintaining public confidence, he said. The minister had previously stated that the full results of efforts to dismantle drug trafficking networks would become evident next year. He also said police operations targeting those involved in the drug trade would be intensified further in the coming year.
The National Drug Agency states more than 1,000 individuals are currently enrolled in the National Drug Treatment System, with ongoing efforts to expand opportunities for as many applicants as possible.
Strengthening initiatives to rescue the community from the drug epidemic remains a premier internal security priority for the current administration. According to the Ministry of Homeland Security, Labour and Technology, parallel operations conducted over the past 2 years to interdict border narcotics resulted in the seizure of more than 320 kilograms of illegal substances, while upwards of 140 related cases have been formally filed over the past 4 years. A total of 1,082 individuals are presently completing rehabilitation under agency supervision, Ahmad Siddiq, the chairman of the National Drug Agency, noted during an appearance on the PSM news program Raja Miyadu. The agency administers 7 distinct programs integrating center-based, semi-residential, and community rehabilitation tracks. The chairman asserted acute infrastructure and human resource shortages leave 710 prospective patients on the waiting list. To expand national access, strategic initiatives will develop regional facilities, cultivate vocational skills, and secure employment for recovering individuals. He maintained that robust community cooperation remains vital to achieve a permanent resolution.
The Minister of Climate Change, Environment and Energy, Ali Sharif, calls for urgent international assistance to protect the nation's vital seagrass, mangrove and meadow habitats, warning that these blue carbon ecosystems are essential to the country's survival and economic prosperity.
Speaking at the Blue Carbon Side event on the margins of the 9th meeting of the UN Committee on Environment and Development in Bangkok, Minister Ali Sharif highlighted the critical role of these natural carbon environments. According to the minister, seagrass, mangroves, and meadows are not only among the most efficient carbon-absorbing environments on the planet, they also shield Mauritius Islands from rising sea levels, sustain biodiversity, and support key industries such as tourism and fisheries. The minister outlined a series of domestic initiatives underway in the Maldives, including expanded protected areas, climate change mitigation projects that leverage natural solutions, and research into sustainable blue carbon management. Despite these efforts, Minister Ali Sharif stressed that the scale of the challenge far exceeds what the island nation can achieve alone. He asserted that international assistance and solidarity are indispensable, urging greater regional cooperation to secure financing, harmonize carbon measurement standards, and empower communities that depend on healthy coastal ecosystems.
According to the Ministry of Islamic Affairs and Endowments, the fifth round of the ongoing program designed to train young khatibs is scheduled to commence this coming week.
Khatibs are individuals designated in the Islamic tradition to deliver the formal public sermons or khutbah. The ministry stated the Young Khatib training program is one of the highest priority initiatives executed by the ministry under the leadership of President Dr. Muhammad Muizzu, aimed at resolving the shortage of preachers in island communities while expanding vital opportunity for the nation's youth. Ali Wahid, the Deputy Minister of Islamic Affairs and Endowments, noted that 4 previous iterations of the initiative have already been successfully completed, and this impending round will train an additional 80 participants. The available slots have been evenly distributed, with 40 allocated for participants from the Greater Male region and another 40 reserved for the outer atolls. The Deputy Minister added, training session for students applying from the Male area will be hosted physically at the ministry, while participants joining from the atolls will conduct their coursework online. The Deputy Minister anticipates that 2 preparatory rounds will be successfully conducted by 13 September to ensure the participation of 1,000 khatibs. More than 600 individuals have earned certification to date.
Payment Maldives Private Limited announces the Maldives Instant Payment System, known as Favara, has successfully processed 6.49 billion US dollars in transactions thus far.
As a subsidiary of the Maldives Monetary Authority, the entity developed a secure, rapid architecture that officially commenced operations on the 26th August 2023. The platform aims to extend financial accessibility to unbanked populations and account holders at all domestic banking institutions, ensuring the conveniences of modern digital finance are distributed equitably. The sheer volume of transactions serves as a clear indicator of the system's overarching success. Mariam Shaba, the Chief Operating Officer and Acting Chief Executive Officer of Payment Maldives, noted during an exclusive interview with PSM News. The transfer function permits funds to be deposited between banks within seconds. Private individuals and commercial enterprises may issue bills and execute financial transactions utilizing the platform's integrated request feature. Operational effort to expand the suite of service remain ongoing. Attendees visiting the Maldives Financial Expo at Hurumala Central Park can acquire additional information regarding the payment ecosystem at the Maldives Monetary Authority stall.
The Bank of Maldives, BML, introduces a new installment payment service that allows eligible credit card holders to spread the cost of larger purchases over time.
The service, known as BML Split Pay, enables customers to convert purchases of more than 97.04 US dollars into monthly installments ranging from 3 to 24 months. It is available to customers with an approved split pay limit when making purchases through participating merchants. Customers using American Express, Visa, or MasterCard credit cards can convert eligible transactions into installment payments at the point of purchase, offering greater flexibility in managing higher value spending. The bank said the new service is designed to help customers better plan their finances by breaking larger payments into more manageable amounts. Bank of Maldives Chief Executive Officer and Managing Director Mohammad Sharif said the initiative gives customers greater flexibility in how they pay for purchases, making it easier to manage expenses with increased confidence and convenience. The introduction of BML Split Pay forms part of the bank's broader efforts to expand its range of digital financial services and provide solutions tailored to customers' changing needs.
A Moscow car dealership struggles to keep up with demand for new electric vehicles as drivers look to sidestep a fuel crisis that has led to long queues and soaring prices across much of Russia.
Escalating Ukrainian strikes on Russian energy infrastructure have squeezed gasoline and diesel supplies in recent weeks, prompting restrictions in most regions. Retail gasoline prices in some areas have climbed to among the highest levels in Europe. Russia's vast distances, harsh climate, and limited charging networks have curbed the growth of its EV market. But the mounting fuel challenges are leading some motorists to make the switch. Founder Yevgeny Zebelin told Reuters that EN Cars, which specializes in Chinese brands, is selling 2 to 3 EVs per day, compared to 2 to 3 a month just a few weeks ago. In the showroom, prospective buyers inspected electrical SUVs made by Chinese automaker Geely. With fuel prices up more than 12% year on year between January and May, demand for EVs was already increasing. According to analytical agency Autostat and the Ministry of Industry and Trade, about 24,600 new plug-in hybrids were sold in the first 5 months of the year, up 125% year on year, while sales on new fully electrical cars rose 19% to 4,460. According to Autostat chief Sergei Selikov, sales accelerated further in June as fuel shortages hit. Last week, 1,754 new plug-in hybrids were registered, up nearly a third from the previous week and nearly 50% above the average weekly pace this year. According to digital map service 2GIS, the number of charging stations in Russia increased 20% in the year to July 2026. Sitting in the dealership, customer Vasily said he was pleased he has already bought a hybrid and an EV.
International delegates participate in a farewell ceremony for Iran's late supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei.
Iran's ruling clerics are preparing days of mass funeral rites for Khamenei as a show of public devotion to the Islamic Republic and proof that its revolutionary fervor still burns strong. Iran's supreme leader was killed by the United States and Israeli strikes in their first attack of the war, and the funeral events will begin over the weekend in Tehran, with mass processions planned next week in Qom and Mashhad and ceremonies in Iraq. Khamenei's death and the succession of his son Mujtaba as Iran's third supreme leader in a conflict with its greatest foes mark an epochal moment in the Islamic Republic's 47-year-old history. Mujtaba, severely wounded in the strike that killed his father, has not been seen in any new image since the war began.
EU Foreign Chief Kaja Kallas says the EU is determined to find a strong candidate for the post of International Peace Envoy for Bosnia and Herzegovina to replace a German diplomat who resigned in May under what he described as US pressure.
Last month, countries failed to reach a consensus on a successor for Christian Schmidt as High Representative for Bosnia and Herzegovina, opposed with white powers in the country since the 1990s under international agreements that ended the war there. The role has always been held by a European with a US deputy.
We are determined to find a European candidate who can help move Bosnia and Herzegovina forward on this European path. The fastest way to get rid of the international supervision is progress on towards the European Union. Shortly after this press conference, I will meet with the troops serving the operation EUFOR Althea. The mission remains a cornerstone of stability in the Western Balkans. Peace in Bosnia and Herzegovina has held for 3 decades, but it's still not taken for granted.
The US, which has announced that the US-led nation-building era has passed, has made clear that it wants a new envoy with a more limited mandate. It supported Italian diplomat Antonio Zanardi Landi for the job, while most European countries supported French diplomat René Trocaz. The United States has said it would reconsider its role in Bosnia and Herzegovina unless its preferred candidate is approved. Earlier this week, Schmidt's deputy, Louis Christhoek, was named as the acting High Representative until a new envoy is appointed by July 14th at the latest. Bosnia is at the bottom of a queue of the Western Balkan hopefuls aspiring to join the EU, as it has stalled its reform progress due to political blockades over the past 2 years. The EU Foreign Chief said Bosnia has already lost 108 million euros in EU funding from the bloc's 6 billion euro growth plan for the region and was facing the risk of losing an additional 370 million euros unless it proceeds with necessary reforms. Bosnia is divided into 2 political entities, one controlled by ethnic Serbs and one controlled by Bosniaks and Croats, with a weak central government supervised by the international envoy. The Bosnian Serb representatives in state institutions has been consistently blocking EU-related reforms, with their nationalist pro-Russian leadership dismissing EU accession and turning to the US administration for support.
Tottenham Hotspur signs Portugal international Matheus Fernandes from West Ham United.
Spurs beat competition from Manchester United to secure the 21-year-old midfielder, with the transfer fee understood to be a club record £85 million or $113.44 million US, according to British media reports. Fernandes joined West Ham from Southampton in 2025 in a deal worth more than £40 million and made 38 Premier League appearances last season. A product of Sporting CP's academy, Fernandes spent a season on loan at Portuguese top-flight side Estoril, where he made 35 appearances and helped the club reach their first cup final in 80 years before joining Southampton in 2024 for a reported £15 million. Fernandes made his international debut in a friendly against Mexico in April, but was left out of Portugal's World Cup squad. Spurs have now signed 5 players during the summer transfer window, including veteran goalkeeper Martin Dubravka, who joined De Zerbi's side on the July 1st.
Penalty shootouts has always been football's cruelest mind game, a nerve-shredding walk into noise, doubt and national dread. What has changed over recent years is not the pressure, but the preparation. And at this World Cup, players, coaches and goalkeepers are increasingly treating penalties less as a lottery than a specialist discipline with enormous rewards.
Germany and the Netherlands have already learned that the hard way, exiting in the round of 32 after shootout defeats by Paraguay and Morocco. For Rea Jadot, professor at the Novian School of Sports Science and the author of Pressure, a book on penalty psychology, the old line that penalties are a lottery should be locked in a cupboard with all leather balls. In a successful World Cup campaign, facing a penalty shootout is almost inevitable, Jadot told Reuters. Penalty shootouts are unforgiving and ruthless. In Pressure, Jadot gathered video of all 718 shots from every men's penalty shootout at the World Cup, European Championship and Champions League from the introduction of shootouts in 1970 through 2023. His research found that 53% of players who missed behave in a similar way afterwards, making themselves look smaller, fall into the ground, hiding their faces in their hands, looking down, or avoiding their teammates as they walked back. England know the trauma too well.
The question is always, how do you deal with these emotions? How do you manage to refocus, cope, and basically put your mind at the task at hand and the kick? And that's when you need to also look for other types of behavioral clues.
Despite all the practice and analysis, though, somewhere in this tournament, another young player's career is likely to be defined by his shot from 12 yards.
And that's all the news we have. Thank you for watching PSM News.